Welcome to T Boys TV. Oh, is that a spot on my head? What the hell? We're back again with another Hatter Show. Obviously, episode 66. I don't even know why I'm smiling like this because, obviously, we are going to be talking about that game last week. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. That game last week. And then, obviously, we're going to preview the Sunderland game tomorrow at home. Obviously, got a few home games coming up. So hopefully we start kicking on like we have been at home. But like always, I'm joined with my dad. How are you, Dad?
Yeah, I'm all good, mate. You?
Yep, I'm good. Just turn my sound up. There you go. That's a lot better. But yeah, let's get into it. Reaction, less of that. We're just going to go straight into the player ratings. Do you know what I mean? Because it was one of them. But the lineup, I'll go through the lineup. Obviously, Nathan Jones did have to change it up in the morning, apparently, because a lot of people were ill. It was a madness and not 100%. So obviously, the lineup was Ethan in goal, Bell as the left centre back, alongside Bradley and Lockyer on the right. Then Doherty was left wing back, and then obviously Bree was right wing back. Other midfielders were obviously Campbell and Freeman, and Clark just ahead of them. And then obviously Adebayo and Morris up top. When I saw that lineup, obviously I didn't know about this sickness thing. I was thinking to myself, and I said it to you on the phone before, Dad. I was saying Doherty, I don't mind Doherty, very good player, looks like a very good player for the future. I was just very surprised that he started, especially with the, obviously I know now, but at the time with the fact, he obviously only played two games this season. One of them was obviously a friendly against West Ham. The other one was obviously against Norwich. And then obviously he's come on briefly in other games. So I was a little bit surprised about that and how Potts has been. But then obviously I found out the reasoning. And other than that, I'll be honest, when I first saw it, I didn't mind the lineup. I didn't mind it. I did have a feeling, it could have been the midfield that you went with, which was obviously what it was. And then up top, I knew it was going to be them two. I know I did say maybe debate for Cornet, but realistically, we knew it was going to be them two up front. And then obviously it was, other than that, expected, like I said. But yeah, what did you make when you first saw the lineup before you found out?
Yeah, I expected Potts to start and Bell to start on the left. Midfield, I said that anyway, but I mean, it is what it is. If that's the choice he had to make at the time, and that's the choice he had to make at the time. But also, Bradley was apparently had the sickness, but he started. I'm not sure, but part of me is thinking that he would have wanted to start. That's the thing, captain, playing against Watford. You know what I mean? So he probably pushed himself, and obviously he only lasted 45 minutes. Well, he did. He shouldn't have started, but it is what it is. Can't really, you can't legislate for stuff like that. Sometimes, if you have a game plan. Lansbury sounded like he was possibly going to start as well, to be honest. Doughty, he's got talent, so Nathan Jones is going to do what he thinks is right. We got Burkout injured as well. So Bell's a left-footed player. So I can see why it did it, but still, like, we're Luton Town. We should just still have put up a better performance than what we did. So let's say about it. But there were several things, what didn't help. It was the early goal. Watford actually turned up. But sometimes we need these wake up calls, yeah. So it is what it is. I'm not. Yeah, I was gutted at the time, but when I look at the bigger picture, we're absolutely fine. We're absolutely fine. We're still above them in the table, narrowly, albeit, but I believe that we will still be consistent, and they won't. And there's bigger pictures for them in the background as well, anyway. So let them have to, like Nathan Jones said to them, enjoy it when they were goading him and calling him all sorts of whatever. Yeah, you get that feel, yeah, whatever. But you know, he probably just said to him, enjoy it. That's what I said to you after. And I did say in the last thing, you know, if we do lose, you know, think about what I've just said, you know. So
Yeah.
It's that dream. I told you I had that dream, didn't I?
You always have these dreams, and they tend to come
It
true.
is what it is. Like, you know, it was a disaster for me. It was just, you know, I thought it kicks off at 12:30 as well. So
Yeah, I remember you saying
to the guy on iFollow going, you know, come, thanks for tuning in every
that
5
nonsense.
seconds. I was like, no, I'll come back. And then I thought, yeah, like it was about 20 past, 25 past, and I turned it on. We was already what? At first, I was like, oh, it's highlights from the other game. But then I looked at the score and I was like, no, it's not. Like, it was, and already then I was done. I was done already. And then I just saw some of the just terrible. Like, that's the little bits that we need to sort of pick up more. You know what I mean? Like, you're going 1-0. We shouldn't have. We just sort of caved in. Like, it's just not us.
Yeah.
You know, we got a poor record at their ground as well, and sometimes that does come into play.
Mm. Yeah, no, it does. You know, look at other derbies. Look at Arsenal, Tottenham, for example. In that sense, Tottenham like haven't won there for
I just
ages.
think it's played the occasion and not the, you know, the game. And that's the problem. They didn't expect Watford to be up for it. Like, well, not as much as they were. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, we thought we'd trouble them, and that early goal just sort of kind of, and then Bradley, which is terrible. Yeah, it's a combination of a lot of things. You know, that's what happened. So, but sometimes it's good to get a good idea. You know.
Yeah.
Obviously not by them fuckers, but yeah. Let's leave it at that for me.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm not going to say too much because obviously, like I said, I did in my match reaction as well. Make sure you check that out if you haven't already. I know a lot of people check that. Big up everyone that did. You know, even the haters, because like I say, you're actually helping me get more money. So big up yourselves for that. And yeah, there you go with that one. But anyway, moving on to the player ratings. The first player that we'll start off with is Ethan. Now, for once, you know, I always say most of the shots, most of the goals he's conceded, he couldn't have done anything. Obviously, one of them, he did do a mistake. However, at the same time, I agree with what you said to me before, Dad, and what you said to me before. Osho should have not passed it back to him. I don't understand why he done that, because then he put himself at a risky point, because then there was no options. You know, I think Lockyer was out on the right, but he was getting marked. And then there was no one in the middle for him to pass it to. So it's one of them. Yeah, obviously, unfortunately, you know, not great from him for once. You know, which is obviously very rare since he's joined the club. As for a rating, he did actually, to be fair to him though, he did actually make some good saves which prevented it from being even more. Let's be real now. But yeah, still not great, of course. I'm going to go over 4.
Really, mate. For me, yeah, he. This is how bad everyone else was. Pretty like he was man of the match for me. Right. Other than that back pass, he was pretty decent.
Yeah, exactly. Like I say, he done saves that prevented it from being even more.
Yeah, there could have been more at half time. Yeah. The back pass, Osho's got away with that a couple of times. If you look at previous games, he's come close where he's played it a little bit too short. That wasn't necessarily too short, but it was the wrong option. It put him under pressure. So every now you put your keeper under pressure like that, he's already conceded 3 goals, like 2 goals, and we're playing poorly. You know, I'm not really blaming him that much for that. You know, he doesn't normally do that. He was put under pressure. We don't play like that. That's it for me. Other than that, he kept it. It could have been a lot more. And everyone else was.
That's what I'm saying.
For me, I'll give him a 6.
Fair enough then.
Man,
Fair enough.
6.
Yeah, he's probably my man of the match. I didn't even think of it,
No,
because it was. Oh. I was actually. I'm not gonna lie. I was actually gutted the whole night. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, it's Derby. It's gonna hurt, but it's proper. Even when we lost 1-0, it didn't hurt that much because we actually put up a performance. This was just a joke, and especially in my area where there's Watford fans all over the globe. I mean, there is actually Luton fans. I do see them, but obviously we were nowhere to be seen. Even other opposition fans were like, "I wanted you lot to beat them." Do you know what I mean? I saw a Man United fan in my area, and he was like, "Oh, I've got cousins that support them. Wanted you lot to win." And I was like, "Oh, don't even get me started, mate." And that was like the end of the convo. Do you know what I mean? So about that anyway. But yeah, there's Ethan's rating. Moving on to the next player, we'll go over to Bell. For me, it's not his main position. He doesn't have the freedom to go forward and do what he likes to do. And I do think if he was able to do that, it would have maybe been different in that sense. We'd have actually maybe went to go forward more because you see the amount of times he does it when he plays there. Again, I'm probably... I don't want to be too harsh on him because, like I said, that's not his main position. I'm going to say... I'll up Ethan's rating. I'll up his rating to... I'll go over 5 for Ethan. For Bell, I'm going to go... Over 4.5. But I don't want to be harsh because, like I said...
Well, I ain't going to be that harsh because, he was played out of position and then he was put back in his normal position and, but by then it was, he wasn't terrible. Like, it is what it is. I'm going to give him 5.
Fair enough. Moving on to the next player, we'll go over to Bradley. For me, not a great performance by him. Well, before I rate him, what do you make of this criticism he's receiving? People saying he's not good enough for the Championship. Do you agree with it, or what do you think?
I just think that he's at his ceiling. He's 30, and the consistency thing again. The same with Potts. They're not higher level defenders. They're not. You know what I mean? He's a Championship defender, no doubt. Absolutely, no doubt. But
he's not that guy who's going to take to the next level.
Yeah, and that's it. And it is what it is. He's a great captain. He's been brilliant at the club since he's been here. He's improved massively. I just think that
exactly.
He's had off-field problems. He knows his form. He's admitted that his form hasn't been great, but there's always a couple of players a season that just have a shit season.
Yeah, there is.
Last season it was Lansbury and Ruddock, really, and you can
even say Jerome to a certain extent last season.
Well, he picked up quite near the end. You know what I'm saying? So, kind of, and he's continued. I just felt that he picked up more than the other two, but yeah. So. And obviously, I understand why he'd have wanted to play this game, but I probably shouldn't have started it. And I just think that a bit wrong decision making between the pair of them, whatever. Started Osho. I'm going to give them a 4.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm going to agree. I agree with what you say about him as a player as well. I think he is Championship quality. I think he showed games for God's sake, where he's literally showed it. Blackburn, when he come on last season, there's been plenty of games where he's come on and the defence has been more stable. Yeah, I know Berry got the goals in that game, but they just weren't coming at us. Bradley wasn't giving them no time to go forward and do anything. So yeah, I agree on that. But I also agree he's not that player who's going to take you to that next
I mean, I just want to point out as well that who have we got on in training?
What's his name? That Hector something, I think it is. That Fulham one, centre back.
He's the same age as Bradley, but he's got more experience in the Championship.
He's got Prem experience, Prem
experience. So that tells you a bit as well. Obviously, Burke's injured. We are a bit, but and Osho's been banned for 3 games, I presume. But it's not like we're looking to loan this guy. We was looking at him, and you'd signed him. He's not gonna come here on loan, is he? He's out of contract or whatever. He's a free agent, so they're obviously looking into that. And if he don't come in, we'll deal with what we've got, and then we've got a break coming up. We'll see who's back. And if we need to go through, I still think we're going to make a cut signs in January anyway. But yeah, that I'll just point that out as well. So can't be leaking goals like that. Do you know what I mean? And it's happened on a number of occasions, and they deal with things quickly if they can. It's no fault of Bradley's, is it really? It just is what it is.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Before I go through the next load of ratings, a lot of comments. So big up everyone inside. Big up NS Sports TV. Big up yourself, mate. He says hi and he says big up. Watford all day long, mate. Watford all day long. It's the main rivalry at the end of the day. Big up Steven says big up Ty. Big up Daz.
Big up.
Ethan 5. Bree 5. Fair enough. Bell 5. Bradley is ill. He just couldn't deal with pace the way he's feeling. Hard to judge. 5. Yeah, no, absolutely. Michael Hector. Yep, that's it. That's his name. So yeah, there you go with that. Moving on to the other centre back, Lockyer. Obviously, no one was great defensively, hence why we conceded the amount that we did. Lockyer, you can maybe say was slightly better, but I wouldn't say by a lot. Maybe a 4.5.
I mean, he's had 2 good games previous to that.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone was bad, but I didn't really notice that he was as bad as everyone else. You know what I mean? I'll give him a 5. Yeah,
fair enough. Moving on to the wing backs. We'll start off with Doherty. Like I said, going into it, obviously, like I said, I didn't know until I found out about the illness, sickness bug, and all that. I like him. He's a good player. He's definitely a good player for the future as well. He's seen it in glimpses, like the West Ham friendly, for example, and he did play a full. He played against Norwich as well, of course. I just feel he's all right as a wing back, but I just feel he's better when he's more, able to free roam. Personally, I think you sort of saw it against Norwich when he changed position. As for a rating, I'm just going to go with another. It's probably going to be a lot of 4.5s. I'm going to go with another one.
I thought he was quite poor, to be honest. But again, this is the thing. We've got a bigger squad now, right? And a couple, sickness. How many players got ill? That's what we need to know. Because there was, But I just think if he had to throw him, he had to throw him in. It was a big game to throw him in against, and he didn't. I know he's got a lot of potential, but he just didn't. It just didn't perform at all for me. I'm giving him a 4.
Fair enough. Moving on to the other side, James Bree. This was not a great performance from him. Well, not from a lot of people, but yeah, really not great from him compared to what we have seen of him this season. Yeah, it just wasn't great. I think of stuff like the first goal, for example. He knows someone's going to be on that side, but he's not actually dealt with them. And then then he's got the ball. Then they've got the crossing goal. You know what I mean? Just like that. So yeah, it wasn't great from him. It wasn't great. I'm going to go over 4.
That was a poor game from him. Like, the first goal. I say the last goal as well. He was just got done. He was just flapping all over the place. It was the worst game I've seen him play. For me, I'm going to give him a 3.5.
I was thinking that. I'm not even going to lie. I was actually thinking that. Now moving on to the midfield, we'll start off with Freeman. Obviously, I like him. Very good player. Especially at the start of the season when he come in. He was one of the only ones really, other than maybe Morris every now and then scoring goals. This game, I did feel at times he was trying to do too much, and sometimes you do see him on the ball quite a lot, like trying to, do that extra touch, trying to take on the players, and you saw it a lot in this game when he was on the ball. Not a great performance, especially like I said from what we have seen of him previously. So yeah, for him, I'm going to go over 3.5.
Yeah, I sort of noticed that in the game. He has got ability, he's got a good touch and that, but he's got to release people, pass it.
Yeah, exactly.
He's kind of a bit of a luxury player as well. He's a sort of player that I think we just need to bring on. Later on in the games and stuff like that. But again, injuries, because Ruddock weren't on the bench. I don't think was Perry on the bench. I can't remember.
Perry was, yeah.
Perry was.
Ruddock wasn't.
Lansbury's out. Who do we have? Who come off? The youngster who come on? So we're basically down to a bare bones. There's more people sick than we think.
Watson come on.
Yeah, that's it. But he just didn't do enough. Like for his ability in that as well, he was just sort of trying to show himself off. Like it annoyed me, to be honest. I'll give him a 3.5 as well.
Yeah, fair enough. Understandable. Moving on to the other midfield. Well, obviously 2 more, but we'll move on to Campbell. It's obviously not expectations. We know that that we set him because we know how good he is. Obviously, it wasn't great from him. Of course, not really great from anyone, like we said. I just feel the midfield was just being overrun too easily, man. Too easily. There was times where, I've seen it a lot this season. Especially in the games where we haven't dictated and dominated, where teams have just ran in front, like literally ran, and we've given them all the time in the world. I remember Huddersfield, we saw it a couple of times. We have seen that a lot, which is quite annoying, to be honest. And we saw that obviously a lot in this game, as we know. He's the main guy of that midfield as well. Obviously, if you always talk about team sheet, he's always one of the first choices on there. And yeah, it just wasn't great, like I said. For me, I'm gonna go over 4.
Yeah, I'll go the same. That good shot as well. Very close.
Yeah. In the first lot, I remember that now.
And then he just got
closest chance. Really.
Yeah, he just got frustrated, didn't he? He couldn't play his natural game, and he tried to take one of them out, which I thought was quite funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, 4.
Yeah. And then moving on to the last midfielder, obviously it started. That was Clark. Again, I said midfield was being overrun. Clark, I just can't really remember too much of him in the game, unfortunately. Again, I'm just going to go over 4.
Yeah, same. The whole midfield was pretty much non-existent. Like say, got overrun. And sometimes you need that someone to sit back, like a Lansbury or a Ruddock or whoever, and we do miss that. They're all like attacking, and Campbell's more of a box to box. He'll chase everyone in them. You know what I'm saying? He's hard working, but he's not like his job is not to sit back. That's what people need to realise. Because he normally gets the tackles in and that. Yeah, that's just the way he plays. But that's not his job. Do you know what I mean? That's not his actual position. He's a central midfielder, not a CDM. So, Clark, I'm just going to give him a 4.
Yeah. Then moving on to the 2 up front, we'll go on to Morris first. Being brutally honest, I can say that with a lot of players. Obviously, one of the worst games I've seen him in. It's the same for him, especially with, he's usually, obviously scoring, providing. But then again, like I said, midfield being overran. And I did see when he did get the ball a few times, a lot of misplaced passes. There was one I think it was him to Elijah, I'm pretty sure. And it's like a simple pass, just played across to him. And it's just like, what are you doing? Like, come on, that's a simple pass out here. Do you know what I mean? That was in the second half. I remember that. Yeah, not great from him. I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with 3.5.
Really? No, I don't think he was that bad. I think he was getting fouled and dragged around a lot, and he got very frustrated, and it sort of just killed his game. I think he was still putting the effort in. I'm going to give him a 5.
Fair enough. And then moving on to the last striker that started, obviously Elijah. I just felt sorry for him, to be honest with you. I'm just going to go with a 4. There's not really too much else to say.
Yeah, like again, similar to Morris. Like he's frustrated. He did have that good headed chance. He was as frustrated as everyone else. I'll give him a 4.5.
Yep, fair enough. And then moving on to subs. Osho was the first one. Yeah, well, obviously, it's not going to be great. He's come on, he's got sent off. Definite red card. Obviously, it's not a debate. Don't think anyone is debating. And if you are, flipping hell, it's not really too much else to say. He shouldn't have passed it back to Ethan, like I said. Yeah, it wasn't great from him. Wasn't great for him. Usually he comes on and, he gets stuck in and does the job. Do you know what I mean? Like, obviously he did get stuck in, but in the wrong way. For me, I'm going to go... Joe, what? I'm going to go over 3. I know it come on, but just the fact, the game just got even worse. Got a red card.
Yeah. Well, he missed that chance, didn't he, as well? He was hung, going in for the attack. Yeah, but no, it's terrible performance from him. Not good enough, and he's going to know about that one. It's going to be hard for him to get back in, potentially to get back inside now, I reckon. I'll give him a 3.5.
Yep, fair enough. Then moving on to the next sub. Player I was actually, I felt he actually was the only player that showed a bit of heart in this game, to be quite honest here. And that was Cornick. When he come on, had a few opportunities. Yeah, they were wide. Yeah, they weren't great shots, but at least he was trying to do something. You know what I mean? He was getting on the ball. He was trying to make things happen. And just for that simple fact, I'm going to go... I'm going to up Ethan's rating to a 6, and then I'm going to give Cornick a 6 as well.
Yeah, I thought he was one of the, the better outfield, obviously, probably the best outfield player when he come on. He tried to be spectacular, but so what? Like, at least he's trying something. It weren't, that bad. He was hungry and he was trying to fight for the ball, take the fight. Do you know what I mean? He looked up for it, and he wanted to change and affect the game. So I'll give him a 5.5.
Fair enough. And then moving on to the next one, which was Jerome. You see, he couldn't really do much. Come on with 30 minutes left, was already, losing heavily. It was already 3-0 at the time. Standard 6 because if I go lower, it's a bit.
Again, I just he didn't. It's a bit difficult, yeah. But I've gave Ethan a man of the match of a 6. I'm not going to give Jerome. He didn't do anything, did he? I'll give him a 5.5.
Fair enough. And then the last one, no, I'm just gonna go 6 because he literally come on with 2 minutes left, and that was obviously Watson.
Yeah, I'm not even going to bother giving him a rating. There's just no point. You know what I mean? Did he even touch the ball like twice or something?
Yeah.
There's no point for me.
Yeah, fair enough. But there you go. There's our player ratings, and obviously both give Ethan man of the match. Just give me 1 sec, Dad. If you want to say anything about the game, just feel free. My mum's just calling.
Yeah, so guys, it is what it is. We've just got to keep faith with the team. I'm sure we'll have a positive result tomorrow. It's just one of them things. It's just a bit of bad luck as well. But don't forget, we're going to be playing them at Kenilworth Road. And 100% sure it'll be a totally different story there.
Right, there we go. Sorry about that. Mum was ringing me. But yeah, no, I agree with you. I heard briefly what you said about obviously when we play in a reverse fixture. I definitely agree. You've also got to look at the fact, last time they beat us at their ground, then look what happened in a reverse fixture. And I do think it'd definitely be different that time round, especially with there being fans this time as well. You know how Kenilworth Road is. Most of us in here are Luton fans. We know how it is with how close, fans are to the pitch. And yeah, I just think some of them players won't be used to it, to be quite honest with you. So yeah, but we'll see what goes on. But yeah, I also agree with you in the sense where don't be too down about it. Obviously, it was obviously gutting. You'd never like to lose in the derby, especially in that fashion. But I believe we will, still be up and around there and definitely fighting for the playoffs again. I still think we'll finish above them. Like you say, I agree on that as well. Still think they've, I don't want to talk about them to be honest with you, but we can sit there and have that win. But I think it will be different come April. But click me up and we'll see. But yeah, there's that. But yeah, let's move on. So obviously we return at home. For me, it's good, especially after that game. That we did have a week off in that sense. Obviously, didn't play midweek. I think that's benefited us in that sense. And the players did have an opening training session as well, which I've seen bits of, and it did look like the fans helped. Talking to
Give me 1 second, mate.
that sort of thing. Because I saw Lockyer in his interview say, we'll see how it goes with the fans. Sorry. And it seemed like it was on a bright note. So hopefully the fans that went to that have lightened things up as well. And yeah, we'll see what goes on. But I'll go through some comments while my dad's doing whatever he's doing. Big up Reese. He says, "How are we? We're all right, thanks, mate." Big up Stephen for doing all his player ratings. Can't give what? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, fair enough. Oh, I just said standard 6 in it, but man of match not going to bother. Okay, we had a team's illnesses swept the squad. So, about this shite game. Yeah, it's one of them, innit? We got to do it. It's what we do, innit? So yeah. Yeah, exactly, Reese. Exactly. How do you feel about this one? It seems like people want a change in captain, which I believe will happen soon. But yeah, where'd you stand on this one?
I don't know if he's got the right kind of mentality.
It is massive. Like, even though you're just putting on an armband, it is massive.
I think Campbell's probably got a good chance of getting it. Who else? Jerome. But at the moment, we're not going to be changing it. It's Sonny Bradley, mate.
No, yeah. Like I said, I can see it soon. And when I say soon, I mean like
If Bradley leaves before Potts, then Potts will become the captain, and vice versa. And if they both go, then we'll see. I don't know about Lockyer. I'd probably rather. There's a few that could be doing it. Potentially Bree. Could even go to a Ruddock. It'd be interesting. Would be interesting because
it would, wouldn't it?
Sometimes the players that have been there longer. Generally, it'd be one of them. Do you know what I mean? It's not like we're going to give it to Morris or Doughty or do you know what I mean? Freeman or so. Lucky, probably got good
is the backup for me.
I think he needs to calm down a bit because sometimes he's a bit.
Yeah, I agree.
So.
I agree. For me, the backup's Potts. For me personally, because you've seen it. You've seen it when Bradley's not there, and you also, like you say, it's mainly based on who's been there the longest most of the time. Do you know what I mean? Or even like who's a regular name, like a Campbell. But yeah, it's one of them. Big up Oasis has come on my G's. Big up yourself, mate. Big up yourself, and all of that. So yeah. It's one of them, innit? It's one of them. Oh, my foot really hurts. Got flipping pins and needles. But yeah, there's that. Big up Jackie. She says, evening. Alan Campbell was captain. Oh, this pins and needles.
He does stand out. He's probably quite respected as well in the changing rooms. But future, yeah. But at the moment, I just think that there's a couple of players potentially ahead of him, but if we keep hold of him, he's definitely.
Breaking news. Sorry to interrupt you, Dad. Breaking news.
All right.
It doesn't look like I was going Sunderland. It's looking higher that I might be able to now. Sorry that I'm moving like a flip-flop, but Alex has just messaged me. Shout out to my G every time. Says, I might have a ticket for you tomorrow. So I'll keep you lot updated on that. But if not, we're going to be watching it together, Dad. Won't be doing a watch along or anything, but we'll be doing match reactions if I don't go. But obviously, if I go, vlog. But yeah, this knee, my knee proper hurts. Oh, God. But yeah, there's that. But yeah, let's go into it. So obviously, tomorrow, like I said, we are playing back at home. Hopefully, we can make our home games some of them have been. Obviously, the likes of Blackburn and QPR, the main ones I'm talking about. Not the other ones. But take on Sunderland, who obviously went up from League One. Obviously, have done a watch-along to their game in the playoffs and beat Wickham. And yeah, in that game, it's just they took their chances. And obviously, in the Championship, they did have a very good start. They're currently sitting, I think it's 14th. Let me just double check that. Yeah, 14th. On 20 points. They are 4 points behind us. Obviously, we're sitting in 9th. And like I said, they started off really well. It started to switch a little bit, but not too bad. Like, if you're a Sunderland fan, I think you'd still be happy where you are, especially with it being your first season back up. But yeah, talk to me, Dad. How are you feeling going into this one?
Oh, it's that bounce back ability. Which normally we're good at. That was quite a heavy defeat, obviously, to the rival. Yeah, I expect us to perform much, much better. Obviously, depending on who's available, but I still think that we will perform much better regardless. They started off well. They are a big club. They've been in League One for too long. We haven't played them for a while, but. When we did beat them back in the days, we were the bigger club. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I think not necessarily, we were the better. Yeah, we were, and I still think that we're ahead of them.
Yeah.
yeah, they've got the stadium, they've got the fans, they've got a good history and that. But at the moment, I still think we're ahead of them, and I expect us definitely to bounce back. As long as they're not feeling any pressure. If they go a goal ahead, but I can't see it. I just feel pretty confident, and it's probably good that we've got a promoted team after that defeat. To be honest with you, at home, but you still got to do the business. But I just think we will. And also, it's like you said about they started off really well, but their manager then left them.
I was going to say that. Yeah,
went to where did he go? Stoke, was it Stoke?
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
and they're doing worse. So they've had a change of manager, probably a little bit of change of ideas, but probably not too much because they don't want to. They'll probably settle for they're probably aiming for like a top 10 finish, to be honest with you. They'd settle for mid-table. They'd be happy with a draw, but we need to prove a point, and I believe we will.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just messaging Alex, but yeah, no, I agree. I agree with definitely. They've just I agree with you with what you said. With we're still ahead of them in that sense. Especially with the fact they've come back up after a while, and obviously we got playoffs last year. That sort of thing. How am I feeling? I'm confident that we'll bounce back. I really am. The only thing I'm a little bit worried about, and it'll be interesting when we get into it, is the lineup. What we're going to go with, because apparently there is still certain things going around. I think I know roughly, but we'll see what goes on with that. But it's going to be an interesting one, that's for sure. And it's going to be, it's going to be a really good game. Especially with the sense. They've obviously sold out their allocation, and how loud and how good their fans can be, and then it will just make ours louder, and it should be a really good game. It should be a really good game, especially with the atmosphere, just to make it even better in that sense. But yeah, that's that. Obviously, like I said, we're sitting in ninth. Let me share the screen and just show you lot it. Obviously, as you lot know, we're sitting in ninth. Position, obviously on 24 points. They're sitting at 14th on 20, like I said. Win for us, depending on Sheffield United, Millwall, all them on 20. Well, them on 26. We could potentially end the weekend, depending on what the four do above us, or maybe on. Probably. Sixth is probably the best bet because Sheffield United do have a decent goal difference. So yeah, there's that on that. As for Sunderland, if they win, which obviously we don't want, they can potentially, depending on what score is, go above them guys, depending on what they do. But obviously they're playing Wigan, so we'll see what goes on with that. But that is that. What we'll get onto now is the lineup. Like I said, this is going to be interesting. I'm going to probably base mine more on who was playing, even though they weren't 100% last week. I'm probably going to base, because obviously, like I said, we didn't, obviously, as you lot know, didn't have a midweek game either, so I can't judge it on that. So obviously, lineup. I'm going to go Ethan in goal, obviously. Of course. They updated the pictures. I remember that. Right wing back, we'll go Bree. Centre, the back three. Now, obviously, Osho's out. Burke's still injured. Right, so I'm just trying to think. I don't know what players exactly are still. I don't know if it's the same ones. Anyone's slowly recovering. I'm going to go with what I would want to see, and that is obviously Potts wanting to see that. Obviously, I know he's one of the players, but I don't know if he's still as bad. I don't know. Just basing it on if he's all right. Potts, you've got, because like I said, you've got no Burke, you've got no Ocho. For me, you've got to go with Sonny Bradley and then Lockyer, because I can't really. Well, like I said, there's not anyone else unless you put Bell as the left wing back again, but I don't want to do that. Bell, obviously, the left centre back. Bell, obviously, left wing back. Where is he? There he is. And then the midfield, I'm going to go. Obviously, I'm going with the 5-2-1-2 on here. Obviously, with the Cam, like we have played most of the season. I'm going to go Campbell. Where is he? There he is. I think this could be a return for Henry Lansbury. I'm going to go with him, and I hope it is. And then just ahead of him, I'm going to go with Clark. Freeman, like I agree with what you said earlier. I feel bring him on now should be more as an impact sort of player, similar to like how we saw him against. Maybe give him a bit more time, but similar to like QPR at home, for example. It should be that. I feel he should be a player that comes on like that. Obviously, I know he's not going to score every time, but just, I feel he should be a super sub in that sense. And then moving on to the front two. It's interesting because after Cornick's performance, you could maybe go with him, but I'm going to go. Am I going to put Cornick in? I'm probably. It's an interesting one. I'm probably going to go what it has been. And that is Morris and Bow. But obviously, we do play Reading midweek, so potentially Cornick could start that one because obviously that's quite a quick turnaround as well. Adebayo still doesn't have a picture. But Dad, what do you make of that lineup?
Yeah, that's pretty much. I would swap Cornick for Adebayo though. Regarding the illness, what I've been thinking is they had that open training session this week.
Yeah.
And I saw Potts, I saw Bradley, I saw Lansbury.
Yeah, Lansbury, yeah. That was good to see.
I saw them all. They were all there, as far as I know. So I don't. If it is going around the club, maybe it's like more the staff or other players. I don't think it's them as much. Maybe they were training, so and they looked all right in training as well. What we don't want is it to be. I don't think I saw Ethan. Oh yeah, I did see Ethan. Don't worry. Yeah, so they were all there. So. But like we said, on Ruddock and that wasn't on the bench, so maybe it's but Ruddock was there again, so I don't know who it is. I don't know if they were that bad, they definitely wouldn't be training, would they, and mixing with each other and stuff like that. So
yeah,
I would start Cornick. As you said, we got turnaround game. The players that didn't play, they'd have had a bit of a rest regarding him, a bit ill or whatever. But Potts was still at the game against Watford.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I don't remember seeing Lansbury there, but he might have been there as well. I expect that to be the lineup, unless there's some major thing that we don't know about. I expect that to be the lineup. Midfield, now I could see him making a couple more changes in there, but I still feel that Lansbury's going to start, and these players will want to, perform well. Anyway, they'll want to get straight back on the pitch and sort it out. Do you know what I mean? Defensively, we're a bit stuck, aren't we? Burke out, Osho
yeah,
out.
exactly. That's what I say. I'm basing it on what I feel our best.
That's the problem.
5 in that sense would be, if you include the wing backs, of course.
I do feel Bell will return to his more natural position. I could see Doughty starting, but maybe in the midfield.
Yeah, no, just quickly before you carry on, Reece has gone with his, and he has said Doherty, potentially. I could see it. I could see it as well, to be fair.
But we'll see, yeah. But I'll go with that lineup. That's what I'll go with.
Yeah, that's fair enough. That's fair. I might even, yeah. So like I said, I was obviously having a heavy debate on Cornick, and I might actually go with him, to be fair. So like I said,
people got to stop doing as well. Like, I know, because the problem is, when sometimes when the line comes out, it's like, why is he playing and why is he playing? And then you find out afterwards that people are injured or whatever. Do you know what I mean? You don't know what's happened, and we didn't know what's happened, but still they should have performed better than that.
A lot better, yeah, exactly.
Let's leave it at that.
But we move on, and we wait till April for that fixture. And that could be, obviously it's massive either way, but that could be even bigger. We could be fighting similar to last season, and
it's the business end of the season.
Yeah, exactly. Do you know what I mean? It could be not similar to the Reading game, because obviously it's not the last game of the season, but similar in that sort of sense.
Anything could be on the cards, and I think something will be on the cards in that game. Whether it's us stopping them getting into automatic positions, or potentially the other way round, or setting back. Because there ain't much. There's only like 4 games left after that, I think. So it could be very, very interesting and worth the wait.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But yeah, let me read out Reese's predicted lineup. So he's got Ethan in goal, of course. Doherty, Potts, Lockyer, Bradley, Bree, Campbell, Clark, Freeman. He's gone Freeman as well. And then Adebayo and Morris up top. That's fair enough. Yeah, well, we'll see. I guess. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Doherty, to be fair. I just feel Bell's the main one, do you know what I'm saying, in that sense? And that is his main position. So, yeah, I'll just go with him there. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see what goes on, really. But, yeah, there's that. Stephen says Lansbury was ill in bed at home Sunday. Obviously, he was in the training, so he'll be back, hopefully starting, like we said. So, yeah, there's that. That time, Dad. Score predictions. And just quickly before you say yours, I will obviously release my championship predictions after this stream. So, yeah, if you do want to check them out, just check them out on the community post. But, yeah, Dad, how do you see this one going? We're at home. Bounce back ability.
I think it will be a better performance. Obviously, Sunderland will be looking, we lost to Wigan. But I just can't see it. I just can't see us not winning the game. And I am going to be optimistic, and I do think we will bounce back. And I'm going to go with 4-0.
Jeez!
I think you're going to see it.
I love that. I love that, Dad. I love that confidence, especially after that last result.
I think you're going to see it this time.
You reckon we'll win 4-0 this time? Jeez.
We're due to give someone an idea. This is perfect opportunity to do it.
True. So we haven't done that yet, have we? No.
We probably do need to score early for that to happen, but wouldn't surprise me. I think we're going to be on it. Like, play like the way we did against Coventry last season, and we just tore them to pieces.
Oh, that was brilliant. The only gutting thing is I went to that by myself. I didn't witness it. Someone else, that was the only gutting thing.
I think we're going to beat them.
Fair enough.
We'll be back in the playoffs.
Nah, less of the jinx, Hanno. Less of the jinx. Last time he said a big score, but even Hanno's gone big. It's gone 3-0 Luton. So, yeah, as for me, I do think we'll bounce back, and I do think we will get a result. But I do think I've got a feeling it's going to be a tight one. I've got a feeling. Maybe might win by 2 goals. But I'm going to go over 2-1. I'm going to go over 2-1 Luton. I do reckon we will at least get some sort of result. But I can see us winning. And bouncing back. Goal scorers, Dad?
Wow, let's have a look.
You reckon 4? Who's scoring them?
I reckon Morris. I think Clark.
That'd be good.
And then probably substitution. So depends who's on the bench, right? Really. I'm going to say Doughty and Potts.
Nice. Yeah, that'd be nice. That'd be a nice mix. As for me, I'm going to go Morris. I've got a feeling he'll score. And I'm going to go... I've got a feeling Clark as well, you know. I've got a feeling Clark's going to score. So, yeah, I'm going to go with them. But I'm going to go through some other comments and score predictions earlier on before we start the stream. I'll probably do that more next time as it makes sense. Brad, shout out Brad. He's gone 2-0 to Luton. That would be nice. And then his other predictions, obviously his teams. Man United, obviously, is one of his teams. Says 1-0 against West Ham. And then Sheffield Wednesday 3-0. Obviously, his other team against Burton. Fair enough. I do think, just talking about Sheffield Wednesday, I do think they have a high chance of going up, to be fair. So if we don't go up, could be playing them next season. Apparently, their away days not too bad. And then obviously RWA Productions, Sunderland fan. I will be going on his channel at some point, a few days after the game. He's gone with 1-1. I remember him saying a couple of weeks ago that he would be happy with the point. That would be a very good point for them, of course. Obviously, he did say Danny Hilton, but I did say to him, obviously, he left. So he changed it to Elijah. And he's saying Jack Clark will score the goal. So it could be 2 Clarks that score. And I'm going to go Jack Clark for them, to be honest. So, yeah, there's that. But, yeah, that is that. So there we go. That is everything said about the obviously the heavy derby defeat, and then obviously the preview of tomorrow's game. Like I said, obviously playing in midweek as well, and Blackpool's coming up as well on Saturday. Well, next Saturday, obviously. And Dad, we will be going to that. We will be going to that. I've got the tickets today. I clutched them. We're going to be near the back as well, which is better for away games. If you know, especially for the atmosphere. And yeah, Dad, it's going to be our first ever away day in the league together. So it's going to be a good one, hopefully.
Yeah.
So yeah, that'll be happening. Obviously, there'll be a vlog for that, as you lot know. And yeah, probably nearer the time. Might see if Hanno can do it on the Clips channel. Just literally put the last time we played Blackpool, because obviously I did do a vlog to that last season. But yeah, Dad, anything else you want to say? I know there is something you did want to say before we wrap up.
Yeah, no, just keep the faith. Don't be that negative about it, because we are definitely a better team, better squad, in a good position, and this is what you do. Can't go from that. So I think we're going to be all right. So yeah, just keep the faith. On if you like your drum and bass and your jungle, I haven't plugged it for a while, but
I was going to say,
cloud put a few mixes since I last plugged it. It's probably about 10 on there. I'm probably going to up another couple from my laptop tonight as well. So check that out. Tell a friend to tell a friend, and enjoy the game tomorrow.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And the good thing is, either way, even if obviously I don't watch it with you, obviously you'll be watching it with others, so that'll be good. And
also, if you like your boxing, there's a boxer, Jordan Reynolds, if you know about him. People
big up to him.
Luton lad is fighting tomorrow. I think it's at O2. It's in London anyway. I'm going to be watching that as well. So good luck to him.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Big up to all our boxers from Luton, obviously Linus as well. Big up to him, and especially his shorts are sick when he comes out with the Luton badge. He's sick. But yeah, no, big up to him, and hopefully he wins. And yeah, again, I'll be keeping my eye on that, see how that goes. Steve says, Blackpool away in winter season. Well, if the game is shit, you can see the illuminations. There is always that. Obviously, last year, I remember I had to travel back to my granddad's and flipping. Now that was a nightmare, especially when you don't know the areas of the northern places on the train. But yeah, won't be doing that this time, obviously. But yeah, no, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good, hopefully. So yeah, that is that. Hannah and Wolf having a little argument about Chelsea and Man United in the comments. But yeah, that is everything said. Episode 66. And yeah, I will be doing, obviously, like I said, I will upload championship predictions shortly after the stream. And then as for a Luton update, if I'm going, just keep an eye on my socials. I'll put it on both of them, both of the Instagram accounts up there. So yeah, because I need to work out a few other stuff of how we're going to get there and that sort of thing. But yeah, that is that. Don't forget to smash a like on the stream if you haven't already. Stream so far, it's got 10 likes. And make sure you smash a like if you haven't already. Big up to everyone that watches in general and on playback. And make sure you do smash a like if you're watching on playback as well. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Did see that we did get a new subscriber earlier, so big up yourself. And all of that. Share the channel as well. That'd be much appreciated. Turn on notification bell so you never miss an upload or a scheduled stream. And if you do want to follow me across any of my socials, like I said, keep an eye on that Instagram one, definitely. That would be much appreciated as well. And yeah, that is all that. Until the next time, obviously the next Hatters show probably be on Monday or Sunday, one of them days, preferably Monday, probably. We'll see you in a bit. So yeah, take care. Peace. Peace.